The PS4 is generally used for its online platform, but many people don't realize that it is also great for playing two-player games. These games vary in genre, but they all have one thing in common: you and a friend can play in your house, on the exact same couch. There are many of these types of games on the system. However, several of them are clearly above the others in terms of fun and intrigue. So here are the best two-player games the PS4 has to offer. One of the only exclusively two-player games just happens to be one of the top two-player PS4 games available at the moment. Released in 2018, A Way Out is an intense and all-consuming co-op action-adventure game where you and one other person play as two brothers, Leo and Vincent, as they attempt to escape prison. What's more is only one person actually needs to buy the game. The other person simply needs to download the free trial and then voila, it's go time. It's a prison escape game like you've never experienced before. You'll have to gather tools and materials to aid your escape. Once the coast is clear, make a break for it. We won't give away the plot or why the brothers are in prison in the first place. You'll just have to play to find out. Call of Duty: Black Ops Cold War, the latest entry in the long-running first-person shooter franchise, offers split-screen multiplayer for its zombies and competitive modes. We're mainly recommending it here for zombies, which is specifically built with co-op in mind. Black Ops Cold War's Zombies mode currently has 3 maps, though it will evolve throughout the year as new seasons drop. Teaming up with a friend to go toe-to-toe with waves of flesh-hungry undead enemies is a ton of fun. Released in March 2021, It Takes Two is an action-adventure game developed by Hazelight Studios. The game was designed to be a split-screen cooperative multiplayer, and as such, it does not have a single-player mode. The game traces the adventures of Cody and May, a married couple on the verge of getting a divorce. The two are forced to work together after they are trapped inside the bodies of 2 dolls owned by their daughter, a development that would cause them to re-examine their relationship. As the name suggests, ARK: Survival Evolved is an intense survival video game set in a prehistoric era that allows both single-player and multiplayer gameplay. It is an open-world game that allows players to try and survive in a deserted landscape with tons of dinosaurs and other dangerous creatures running around. There are more than 140 different species present in the game. Once you tame animals, you'll even be able to ride on them, and you'll want to collect powerful weapons to keep yourself safe. There are different modes in the game depending on your preferred difficulty. Streets of Rage 4 finally brings the classic series back, and it does so with plenty of style. Arcadey beat-em-ups aren't as common as they used to be, but this modern iteration is about as good as they get. Crunchy, satisfying combat is the order of the day as endless goons populate the screen, lining up for a beatdown from classic characters and new ones alike. With both local and online play, you can clean up the streets with some buddies too. As the name suggests, totally reliable delivery service puts you in the shoes of delivery drivers. However, these aren't the standard people you expect to see when your package arrives in real life. These are wobbly ragdoll creatures. You have to attempt to control them and the various vehicles located in the open world to get your packages to the correct destination. It's a very wacky and humorous experience, especially when you have a friend by your side. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 brings back a pair of absolute classics for a new audience. Remaking both games to modern standards, the package retains the zippy, addictive gameplay fans know and love with up-to-date visuals and a refreshed soundtrack. It's a super impressive game with loads to see and do, including a full suite of local and online multiplayer to enjoy with friends. Diablo 4 is the highly anticipated sequel to the legendary Diablo series. Set in a dark and gritty world, players will once again face the forces of hell as they hack and slash their way through hordes of demons. With a new open-world design, deeper RPG elements, and stunning visuals, Diablo 4 promises to be the ultimate Diablo experience. Mario isn't the only gaming mascot that stars in kart racing games. The characters from the Sonic universe also take to the track to compete with one another in several titles. However, not only does Team Sonic Racing allow you to compete against friends, you can team up with them, too. This is because, as the title of the game suggests, you can play team races. In them, you all still have your own car, but you share power-ups, and your score at the end of the race is determined by where everyone finishes. All this can be played in up to 4-player split screen. Stardew Valley is one of the most famous relaxing games in recent memory. In it, you take over a farm that is in a pretty bad state, and you fix it up. At least that is what you're encouraged to do. But the title gives you the freedom to go about your Stardew life how you see fit. You don't have to live that life alone, though. There is a co-op option in the game that allows another person to join you as a farmhand. Yet, that doesn't mean they just have to stick to working on the farm. they can do a lot of the same things as the host. PS4 fans had to wait a little longer to play Cuphead, but it was worth it. This is a side-scrolling platformer/shooter with one major trump card: its unbelievably good presentation. The game looks like an animated cartoon from the 1930s, and it's incredibly effective. Combined with rock-hard boss fights and a superlative soundtrack, Cuphead is a challenge you won't mind enduring thanks to all that style. Can't Drive. This is a unique racing party game where one player builds a track and another player drives on it. If those tasks happened in that order, the game would be quite simple. Yet, the building and driving happen at the exact same time. So, the driver has to hope that the builder puts the right pieces of track in the right places. After all, it's not like they can pull up to give the track creator some time, since the car blows up if it drops below a certain speed. It makes for a very chaotic experience that can be enjoyed by 4 players. Dark Souls 3 is the third installment in the challenging and atmospheric Dark Souls series. Players journey through a dark and interconnected world full of monstrous foes and challenging bosses. With its intense combat, deep lore, and hauntingly beautiful world, Dark Souls 3 is a must-play for fans of challenging action RPGs. Gran Turismo 7 is the more complete package that fans have been wanting since the previous game's focus on esports. While it does feature excellent online multiplayer, the main draw is the huge CarPG single-player offering. Hundreds of cars are yours to collect and tune up, and the wonderful handling makes each one a pleasure to drive. The GT Cafe makes all the events, license tests, and other activities easier to digest, and it's hard to not be won over by the sheer volume of information packed in about car culture and history. A return to form for the series. Darksiders is a long-running series with plenty of installments. Genesis serves as a prequel to the main games and features the fourth horseman of the apocalypse, Strife. He teams up with his brother War, aka Player 2, to investigate what Lucifer is planning. Along the way, the brothers face many enemies. The combat is of a top-down hack-and-slash variety, and each character is a bit different. Strife uses pistols, while War favors the blade. When not fighting, they can do some platforming or general exploring. Originally planned as a Wii U exclusive, the death knell to Nintendo's ill-fated home console proved positive news for PlayStation fans when it went multi-platform. Building upon the stunning UbiArt engine of its predecessor, Rayman Legends is a sublime side-scroller from start to finish. While not all of the touchscreen gimmicks translate optimally to the DualShock 4, you'll be hard-pushed to find a better platformer than this on PS4. If you didn't grow up playing any of the games in the Crash Bandicoot series with vivid memories of defeating the evil Dr. Neo Cortex, we don't know where you've been. Released in 2019 by video game developer Beanox, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is a classic-style kart racing game. This game offers a single-player, online, and local multiplayer mode. With an 8-player capacity and 56 playable characters, this game is perfect for friends or family who want to spend some time together. What's better than a bit of friendly competition, anyway? Crash Team Racing features both local and online multiplayer. Up to 4 players can compete locally, while up to 8 can compete online. However, keep in mind for online playing a PlayStation Plus subscription is required. There are 40 tracks available with varied levels of difficulty and creative obstacles. Your persistence and navigational skills will have you winning Nitro points. These allow you to purchase new character skins, carts, and a few other surprises. We don't want to give too much away. Rocket League is the PS4 split-screen game to end all other games. You each have your own race car, and the goal is to score goals on the other team. It combines soccer and racing into a single game, and it's enjoyable for friend groups of all tastes and skill levels. There are competitive modes as well as casual, so you can rank up or just play for fun. The creative friend will have a blast upgrading their vehicle with decals, hats, and colors to make it the sickest car amidst the battle to score. Mortal Kombat 10 has become something of a fan favorite over the years, a typically gory and charmingly daft entry in the long-running series. On a mechanical level, X gets a lot right. It's like a melding of older Mortal Kombat titles, spruced up for modern times. Whatever your skill level happens to be, it's great bloody fun, capped off by a comprehensive character roster and loads of engaging game modes. Many games include exciting prison break sequences, but Escapists 2 revolves around the concept. Each level tasks you with figuring out creative ways to escape your confinement and then pull it off. It's not all done on a whim, though, as careful planning is often required, as you need to right gear and opportunity to leave the prison. The benefit of the second game is that it has co-op, meaning you can make these daring escapes with a buddy or 3. If you do, you will have to utilize teamwork to make sure things go smoothly. one of the greatest anime-based fighting games ever, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a masterclass in adapting an existing franchise. Bandai Namco wanted a Dragon Ball title that could stand on a tournament stage, and so it recruited the fighting game geniuses at Arc System Works. The result is a downright stunning, but also brilliantly deep team-based brawler. It has a few too many Gokus in its character roster, perhaps, but that's a minor criticism when the game's in full flow, a joyous, competitive celebration of Akira Toriyama's timeless creation. While the RPGs are generally single-player experiences, there are some good co-op role-playing games, too. For example, Outward allows you to play through the whole thing in two-player split screen. During the game, you play as an unlucky character who inherits a large debt that they have to pay off. To do so, they have to work with one of the game's factions, and you get to choose which one. As you can tell by the story premise, you don't control a special hero of any kind. You play as a regular person, which means you usually have to outsmart the opposition in combat. Enemies are your only threat, though, as the game has survival mechanics, meaning you have to avoid starvation, dehydration, or getting a disease. Overcooked 2 is a chaotic cooking simulation game that challenges players to work together to prepare and serve food in increasingly hectic kitchens. With new recipes, kitchen layouts, and multiplayer options, Overcooked 2 is even more frantic and fun than the original, making it a great choice for cooperative play with friends. The LEGO games are always a solid co-op bet, and as an added bonus, they're about as kid-friendly as they come. And while cooperative kids games have a, somewhat deserved, bad reputation for being buggy and unimaginative, the LEGO series almost always bucks the trend. LEGO DC Supervillains puts you in control of the greatest antagonists of the DC universe, including Lex Luthor, the Joker, Solomon Grundy, Lobo, and even Darkseid himself. Along the way, you'll solve puzzles, fight off pesky superheroes, and follow a totally original plot that pits you against the despotic, alternate universe version of the Justice League. You can even make your own supervillain, if the game's massive cast doesn't do it for you. It's one of the best split-screen PS4 games, if for no other reason than you get to play as a supervillain. Revenge, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge is a classic arcade-style beat-em-up game featuring the iconic heroes in a half-shell. With retro-inspired pixel art, tight gameplay, and nostalgic references, Shredder's Revenge captures the essence of the original TMNT games while adding modern touches for a new generation of fans. Minecraft is the perfect game to play with friends if you're looking for a creative outlet rather than something super serious like Call of Duty or The Forest. If you are in the mood for a bit of action, however, you could always take on some creepers, the villains of the game, or maybe even just a few sheep. Minecraft has to be one of the best two-player PS4 games by virtue of the freedom it grants players as a gaming platform. Initially exclusive on the PC, Minecraft became available on the PlayStation Store in 2014. You can play with 1, 2, or 3 others in the same room. Just hand them a controller. It also features online multiplayer mode and supports up to 8 players. Keep in mind you do need a PlayStation Plus subscription to play online. You can make a server and invite your friends or join one someone else has created. Then the world is your oyster. Literally. Plunked onto randomly generated worlds with mountains, greenery, and wildlife, you can literally build anything you want. We've seen people build the likes of Hogwarts and the Eiffel Tower in their entirety. It's really incredible what you and a few others can do when you've got time, imagination, and a few tools to hand. There's no quicker way to fall out with a friend or loved one than by beating the snot out of their sci-fi ninja avatar as an adorable panda. Tekken may not exactly bring the whole family together through cooperative collaboration, but it's significantly more fun fighting against somebody on the same couch than facing the computer-controlled AI or sparring online where a weak connection can abruptly ruin a bout. In reality, Tekken 8 probably isn't going to ruin any of your relationships, unless your loved one's taking gaming a little too seriously, but if you're looking for a competitive brawler to challenge those closest to you, Tekken 8 is perfect. Not only does it look downright glorious on current-gen consoles, but it also packs a deep roster of familiar characters and new faces. Plus, if you get bored of delivering a beatdown and split screen, there's a wealth of single-player content and additional modes to enjoy. Originally released episodically as a direct sequel to Nintendo 3DS game Resident Evil, Revelations, it's probably fair to say that Resident Evil, Revelations 2 has largely been forgotten. But the game, starring Claire Redfield and Barry Burton's daughter Moira, has some high points, including full co-op support. When playing solo, you'll need to toggle between different characters to solve puzzles. There's also a raid mode which features a bunch of combat gauntlets, all of which can be enjoyed with a friend locally and online. Star Wars Battlefront 2 provides a split-screen option for you and your friend to team up in the arcade mode. You can choose to fight one another or take on enemies as a single unit. The game allows you to blast stormtroopers as you pick from a variety of characters and defeat the multitude of coming waves. You won't be able to play online in split-screen mode, but neither of you will mind because both of you will find enjoyment in exploring everything the arcade mode has to offer. In Sackboy, A Big Adventure, the latest entry in the Little Big Planet series, you and up to 3 friends work to defeat an evil jester doll and save Craftverse. Sackboy is the closest thing to a modern Super Mario game you'll find on PS4. The well-designed levels offer a staggering amount of variety to keep the platforming fun throughout. The game's whimsical tone, catchy soundtrack, and bevy of cute outfits make it a great choice for families. While Sackboy doesn't do anything we haven't seen before in the platforming genre, it has an extremely sturdy foundation that makes it easy to recommend. A visual tour de force, with a stunning cinematic campaign that actually felt worth a damn, Injustice 2 saw NetherRealm Studios on top form, with dynamically changing ladders introducing new challenges every hour and a neat loot system which added real replayability to the game. This fighter will go down in history as one of the biggest, most graphically stunning efforts ever to release on consoles at the time. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far and until next time, bye.